coming now, get up out of my way. Oh, it's my time now, better watch what you say. Trained all my life like every day, 'cause it's game time now, oh, and we don't play.
I've never seen athletes exert so much energy and effort into anything before.
It's like this giant symphony and orchestra of instruments all coming together at one time to make this beautiful sound.
It's a major boom.
It's beastly.
The demands upon organization and systems when you can only touch something for a split second.
This will be the fastest growing sport in the country in the coming years.
I got into coaching, and here I am running this program and having the opportunity to travel overseas and compete in some incredible environments and at the Olympic Games. And describing that is really difficult to do. There's just you're in an arena with 15,000 people and singing the national anthem, and even if it's not your own, it's just this incredible amount of national energy that you get to feel and this emotion on the volleyball court. Certainly, it's interesting when you start playing. Say we'll go to Chicago, and we'll play sometimes in front of 10,000 people in Chicago. Now, a lot of these people haven't seen men's volleyball before. They're coming maybe for the first time. And some of the biggest crowd responses are during warm-ups, when they watch Matt Anderson or some of these guys go up and just hit a ball straight down and bounces way really high, and they can't believe it. They've just never seen that when they've watched girls or women's volleyball.
Well, I think boys volleyball has been limited nationally because it's really seen as a girl sport, because there's a certain perception of what boys are supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. And starting to see a larger national trend, a movement and a growth in boys and men's volleyball, and trying to spread that and spread the word.
One of the other things that we've talked a lot about is the demographic of the sport. Because most of the boys that play college volleyball are observed in the club sport world. It really prevents kids that don't necessarily come from higher socioeconomic areas from playing our game.
So the best way to get more kids involved and expand the opportunities is to have it a sanctioned varsity sport in states, because then kids get to play, even free and reduced from multiple diverse backgrounds, get to play for their high school for potentially no cost. And that's the introduction to the game, which then they can grow and expand from there.
We sit now on a basketball court. Oh, I'm sorry, a volleyball court. See how that worked out?
I think a lot of basketball players have this experience where they've been playing basketball their whole life and they play this and they go, wait a minute, even if they've never been exposed to it before, they start playing the game and they're like, wait a minute, this is a blast.
Yeah, I mean, basketball was my first sport for, let's say, up until I was 16 or 17. And I had a lot of success playing high school basketball. And I was able to continue my basketball career in college if I wanted to. But I started getting more serious into volleyball, and I was fortunate enough to be invited to the youth national team. And so that helped me make the decision to go to college to play volleyball, because I had then kind of seen the path to going to the Olympics, which was a huge, huge goal of mine. When I saw that 2008 team make that gold medal run at the Olympics, I said, I was in middle school and I was like, that's what I want to do.
I was just getting to Fort Knox, getting ready to get out, and watched the Fort Knox High School Eagles playing, and they were horrible. I said, I can help that team. I can help them. So I went. Coach said, we'd love to have you. I volunteered. I helped the team. Everybody was inspired to play more, and I was inspired to coach more. And then I got out of Fort Knox and just kept coaching. I was coaching middle school at Neal Math and Science Academy. And my son was telling me about this 6'7" kid they had in middle school, and he's this, that, and other. And then the coach runs up and tells me, I say, yeah, right, whatever. I'd never seen Jamie in my life. And one day we were waiting for kids' ride, like today, I'm waiting for kids' rides. And this big body goes by, and my son says, hey, Dad, there's Jamian right there. See, he's not even doing anything. And I said, where? All I see is a grown man walking down the street. What are you talking about? He's tall as a fence.
And he just kind of came out of nowhere. It was weird. Yeah, he wasn't there, and then he was. Then he looked at me and he was like, well, why don't you come play? Why don't you bring your friend out to come play? And I was like, I'm a basketball player, coach.
So I dragged him to the gym, and I said, look, we got to make a deal. Let me teach you first, and then make a decision.
I just started loving the sport. I liked his coaching style. It was hard. I knew that it was going to make me strong, and I saw that I was getting better. And I liked the fact that he wanted more, and I wanted more out of myself as well. So I gravitated towards that. And yeah, we built that relationship to, even now I call him Pop.
So he came in, we worked on him for a couple weeks. He got really good at it. And now the basketball coach sees him developing into this Adonis. And he's like, oh man, we got to have him on the basketball team. That kid's phenomenal. He tells Jamian's dad he's going to go Big Ten in basketball. And I said, there's no way he's going Big Ten. He's not even played club AAU basketball anywhere.
It was a tough time because I just wanted to, prove it to myself that I could make it happen, and prove it, to my parents and everyone else that, I can be successful at the sport. I think that once I broke down and I, sat with my parents, and just, told them that basketball is just not something that I wanted to pursue anymore. Tried to have the conversation and it just didn't go the way that I thought it would. My dad was angry. I just remember crying, and I remember calling Coach Ed.
So long story short, I get a phone call from Jamian telling me that he appreciates me, thanks me for helping him, but he probably won't see me again. I said, why? He said, because I'm gonna run away. I said, you're gonna run away? That's why he called me, because he knew I would intervene, and I became his megaphone, so to speak. I talked to a basketball coach, and he says, well, if the boy doesn't want to listen to his dad, he should run away. And I said, you know what? I'm done with you. You just turn into every other coach in America who's telling kids what they should and shouldn't be doing so you could benefit from it. That's not cool. So I told his dad, I wouldn't believe that. Your son has a good chance. You got Pepperdine calling him on one phone. You got UCLA calling on his phone. You got Irvine calling. You don't have any basketball coaches calling your son. These are all Division I schools. I take what I see.
That conversation, I think, helped a lot. I probably think the tears helped a lot too. And then after that, I think it just kind of took off. Well, I had the opportunity to go to Ball State, which is one of the Division I schools in the States. I believe my father needed to see, the results of volleyball before he became a believer. Once he saw how important it was to me, he jumped on board.
So was it a defining moment for Jamian? Absolutely.
After, I'm thinking of a tournament, the first tournament that he came to in particular, that, he finally saw, what, I can do on the court. I definitely feel like I play on a different level when my parents are there, especially when he was there. Like my dad now, he wants to know if I am going to play, he wants to know that so that he can be there. I think that a lot of my success today honestly came from volleyball, and me, saying yes that day on the walk home to Ed to come into the gym. Me getting a good scholarship to go to Ball State. Me playing on the Jamaican national team. Me training with the USAV team as well. Me traveling to Austria and Cyprus and Trinidad and Tobago.
Is because he was coached by me. someone who's given them that courage and shown them that you count.
You know, they need a father figure. They need a mentor. They need someone to show that they care about them, and Ed's that guy. And I'm not saying he's just looking solely at, you know, Black, Hispanic, Asian athletes. It's kids that people kind of overlook, if that makes sense. And he takes these young men and molds them into something more and finding them home. So that's why, you know, I don't think men's volleyball would probably be where it would without him.
I know Nikki through volleyball, you know, as a coach at McHenry. I remember when she first got the job, we had contacts because there were a couple players that she was interested in, and I said that I would try to get those players to come to her. And she's passionate, she's knowledgeable, she's dedicated, and she plays. Nikki's different. She's not a woman's coach or a men's coach. She's like me. She coaches athletes. Nikki goes hard.
I pride myself on having a pretty solid poker face, except for, you know, I'm a ball of emotion, and the players know that, my staff knows that. I try to keep it internalized. I tell the kids, I'm like, we could be playing Monopoly. I will flip this table if I'm not winning. And it's sport, it's life. UCLA came here last year, and that was a big deal. Going out to BYU, and BYU has the means to help smaller schools like us to get there, and we got to win. And now that it's like, wow, this 3,000 student university goes out there and gets W, that's a big deal. And that now starts asking questions like, who's McKendree? And now I see a trend of young athletes that want small, private, liberal art education. So now we're getting contacted from kids and all over the country, which is really great. But it just brings notoriety, and it brings notoriety to the school and the community. No one knows enough about it. And I think it's still the stigma of it's a female sport. And only people pay attention to it when it's Olympic time. I think there should be so much more coverage, and that's just the most recent thing that ESPN, it could have been a 1-minute snippet of saying, okay, the men's national team beat Poland, and let's check this out. So.
One of the best things that happened in Colorado with the United States Olympic Center there is that the U.S. men's national team came and played, and they had a couple events, and I was able to fill that gym. We had thousands of boys, thousands of adults, athletic directors from around the state come and watch the men's national team play and beat Canada in 3 sets. It was a game changer for Colorado, because people that had never really seen or understood the sport at its highest level had a taste of it, and they couldn't get enough.
So we have to talk about how we market the sport. We have to have great announcers on TV and get on TV more. We have to take advantage of the opportunities we have through the college sports network, like the Pac-12 network, which is televising a lot of boys' games.
Today's generation is visual, airtime. You got to put it in front of them. Golf and tennis was in the same situation we were in. Tiger Woods burst on the scene. No one knew who Tiger Woods was until his first golf outing. But once he got on the scene, golf did something volleyball has yet to do, which is push it forward to the broadcasters, and golf took off. Their sales went through the roof. That's what we have not done. We've not made volleyball relevant.
Watch the Olympics on TV. Watch collegiate volleyball when you have a chance. Look it up on YouTube and watch some of these guys, how they hit the ball, the power that's involved, the bloody nose when you get hit in the face. Like, I think we need to highlight this. Play it, watch it on TV. Come here and watch these guys play, you'll be impressed. When you're watching men's volleyball, you're gonna see incredible power. You're gonna see incredible athleticism. It's the equivalent of a slam dunk on every play, but then every once in a while you see a spectacular dig, and the defense is really improved. So there's a different type of enjoyment you'll get out of watching men's volleyball.
But no one also says, you know, that guy touches 12 feet and he's serving a ball at you from 30 feet at 75, and you have to pass it to this target. And they're like, oh, it's easy. I can stick my arms out there and just do that. No, actually you can't. It's not that simple. I don't think they give them enough credit of what kind of skill it actually takes to do some of the things they do, and to continuously jump and to have the physicality to score. I think that's really underestimated.
Well, here we go. It's the perception of it's a girls' sport. Well, girls play basketball, don't they? They run track, they swim, they do water polo, they even play football. So would those be considered girls' sports and we shouldn't play them? I'm just saying. To me, you've got to understand sports are sports. That's kind of why I say I don't coach girls and I don't coach guys. I coach athletes.
How do you get it into high schools where kids can be exposed to the sport without having to pay a fee to do it?
High school. You already have a girls' team? Then you have all of the equipment except for uniforms. Bus, coach. These things become the cost. I mean, yes, they're costs, but what's worth more? A child's development and mentoring or the cost of financial burden?
So you have to think if you're in a single parent household, depending on what part of the country you're in, your dues could be anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 for that club season. Okay, so you're a single parent. Your son's good at volleyball. How are you going to afford making payments, once a month of like $700? And then that's not on top of the travel where, the major tournaments are on coasts.
But it's difficult when we have to use certain hotels. They have to pay certain fees. We have to go to certain tournaments to be seen. If you don't go to a qualifier, you can't get in the open division. See, these are the things that play into the cost being too high and unaffordable for the minority.
And that's just really sad. And so how do we get into the areas of the country where this isn't a part of the cultural fabric of those communities?
We have to find these kids in these underserved areas that could be the next star, could be the next national team member, and we don't have those opportunities because maybe they can't afford it. Maybe they don't have volleyball in their area.
One of the best things that's happened out of the First Point Volleyball Foundation isn't just that we're starting programs at the top and getting more scholarship dollars for boys. What we're doing now is sharing information between people in different states about what's working for the growth of boys volleyball. Colorado just sanctioned high school boys volleyball for the first time.
The end result is we've gone from 300 to 1,000 boys. We have over 80 teams, high school teams playing at the club level right now, and I expect continued growth.
That's an impressive effort, and it's because we're sharing information about what works and how do you manage the political process of getting volleyball sanctioned in each individual state. And now we're able to take all the information, share it across the country, and now we have representatives from I think almost 30 states.
There are 6 HBCUs that have programs.
A conference of historical black colleges to sponsor the sport. We're talking about maybe 20 or more scholarships, full ride scholarships for black athletes in America. That has the chance to really make a difference.
And now that there's going to be an entire conference, that's huge. That's great. And now it's not just a conference in men's volleyball, it's an underserved area where they haven't seen men's volleyball for one. There's going to be an opportunity for young men of pretty much all backgrounds, just not just diverse, to go to universities where they're going to see a whole nother culture.
I had a bit of a lack of exposure to the professional scene and the national team scene, and that you can make a living out of volleyball, and you can go to college for volleyball. And I got an offer to play at USC, which is just a dream of mine, and I was very fortunate to be able to play there.
I think the Olympic dream kind of started to become a little bit more real in college. You kind of start to see your progression as an athlete. You start to see kind of how you compare to some of the other top players and know that you can get to that level someday. The opportunity in college allowed me to continue my volleyball career, elevated it to the next level, got me ready for the Olympic level, actually. And it's great to see that there are new and upcoming college programs making themselves known, recruiting more athletes, getting more boys into the college game. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think the pinnacle of international volleyball, of national team volleyball, is the Olympics, without a doubt. And everybody's aiming towards that.
Yeah, so to be an Olympian is just such an honor. It's really the culmination of so many years of dedication and hard work.
But to be able to say we got a bronze medal from the Olympics is a point of pride, definitely. And you know, it's to be able to say we're Olympians and to be able to experience being around the best athletes in the world at the highest stage, or at the biggest stage in the entire world, was a surreal experience.
But then at the same time, we did leave something on the table. We want more coming up to Tokyo, and that's why we've worked hard. That's why we've stayed together. Just the last 6 years being a part of the national team, seeing the growth that all of us have had as individuals and as a team and a culture is something super special. John talks a lot about leaving this place better when you leave than when you came in.
I thought to myself, well, here's a deep responsibility that I have. I've been given I think, a gift. Like, most coaches only do this for 4 years, and here I have this opportunity to do it for 8. What does that mean? What kind of impact can I make? But I've never felt like anybody's really gone out there with a really organized, intentional effort with a lot of support behind it to actually get the job done.
John Speraw is such a, I guess you would say, an iconic figure. And he's a thinker, he's an intellectual. And now he's giving these younger athletes, collegiate players, opportunity to shine. So I think that's just huge for the growth and huge for our growth as a country, as a nation, and the world.
We've raised about $2.5 million. We've started a number of programs. It's been incredibly successful. And the most important thing we've done is learned a lot. I'm really optimistic about what this initiative can do for the United States of America. Not for 2020 in Tokyo. We're talking about 2028 in LA, and we're talking about 2032 and how we can expand the base. And then I think we put ourselves in a position to win more gold medals in 2032. And I won't be there. I'm not coaching that team. I tell people I'm going to be fishing in Montana, and when I want to turn on the TV, I want to see us win gold medals. When I leave this job, I'm leaving all my files. I'm going to want that next guy to win. I'm all in on that.